right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Go for Two podcast. We're back again, episode 20 on the way as we get started here on the Saturday, just like we always do on Saturdays. I'm here again with my man Don, the stats guru, the running back Nelson Drew, and with me, Dante, everybody's favorite couch quarterback. Back again, rocking it out again on this Saturday afternoon. I know everything in the world has been crazy, so what we want to do is just kind of, go around the room or go around the podcast and give our little speech on what's going on, give our 2 cents. We know it's a sensitive topic, guys, and we can't forget about what's going on in the world right now. I know for the friends out there that I have watched, some of my posts, they know how opinionated I am on it, and I'm still conflicted on what's going on. And I'm sure the two guys that I always do this podcast with, they feel kind of the same way, and I kind of give a perspective. Don's the white guy, Nelson's the black guy, and I'm the mixed guy. I mean, there's no other way to slice it, and I know in those different factors that we kind of all maybe feel the same, maybe feel a little different. We didn't talk about it before the show. This is all straight from the top of the dome here, and to let you guys know, a little bit how we feel. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and, let Nelson, give his 2 cents on the situation.
All right, peace and blessings, everyone. Um, as a black man, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm ready to knock heads. I understand the protesting. I understand everyone coming together for George Floyd, and having the same common goal as to bring down the crooked cops and the injustice that's going on in the police departments, not just in Minnesota but around the world. Um, but what I do not understand is that the community you live in and you burn it down, at the end of the day, that's just hurting yourself. There's have to be a better way. There has to be a smarter way. So my proposition to everyone out there: study the law, know the law. If you want to fight, fight either with a petition or with even behind the courts. Now, don't get me wrong. I know our young generation, they have nothing to lose. So they're out there. And people who just don't care are out there and just, causing havoc. But be smart, all right? As long as we give emotional reaction to what's going on, they got us. So please be smart about it. Be sober minded. Voice your opinion on Twitter, uh, Instagram, whatever platform you're on. But just know that for every consequence, there is a consequence. And I know we're tired of it. I know we're tired to get killed. Trust me, I've experienced someone coming to me and say I fit the description. But there's got to be a better way. It got to be a smarter way to handle this. And trust me, our voices are being heard loud and clear now. But now what? Don't go into the same store you bust the window and start buying things 6 or 7 months later. Keep the black dollar in your pocket. All right, that's one way to hurt them, is with their pockets. If you don't support them, if you don't give money back, then they're out of business. So that's what I got to say. And as far as the officer, I hope he get what's coming to him. All right, only the Lord knows what's going to happen to him when it comes down to it. But what needs to be done, and let the vengeance of the Lord take reign. So that's what my piece on it.
Don?
All right. Well said, Nelson. Appreciate everything that you just said. Um, Surprised by a lot of things that went on, and I feel pretty much the same way you do, but I'll turn it a little more personal towards me. When I was a kid, I had friends. I didn't really see color. I just had friends, and they were color and not color. And then I got older and I went to church. I had brothers and sisters in the church. I didn't see color. It didn't matter. I go to work. I have coworkers. It doesn't matter. I don't see color. It's the heart and it's the character of the person that matters. Now, I will say, obviously, I have not had to live a day or walk a mile in your shoes to go through the things that you go through on a regular basis. So I cannot speak to any experience there, and that's where I am lacking. So listening to things that you guys have to say, that's where I can learn more.
I mean, with everybody, we're trying to be careful on what we say, and it shouldn't have to be like that. But hey, Paul, how's it going, man? One of those things that I'll cap it off with this. One of the things that I'm highly disappointed in is that I can't share an opinion with somebody and have a different ideal without getting attacked. And this is, I think, where this whole thing has stemmed from.
Yep.
I get that people disagree with the way that Kaepernick went with things. I understand that people disagree with the way that Drew Brees went about things. People are so scared to change their minds. People are so scared to have an opinion. Why can't we just disagree? Agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll kind of leave it at this. Everybody just needs to come together. This isn't about a white thing. This isn't about a black thing. This isn't just people are making it about color. People are making it about police officers. People are making it about the looters. People are making it, making all these false narratives. And I'll leave you with this thought. Regardless if you agree with Kaepernick stood for, and I know some people probably disagree with me, but there is this thing called the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't care about where you protest, why you protested, how you're protesting. I think that's what people are getting confused. I stand with Kaepernick all day long. And the thing is that if we stop twisting people's ideals and what they stand for, because this is basically what had happened to Kaepernick, it was a character assassination almost. And I understand the things that he did with the Fidel Castro and the pig socks and all that stuff, which kind of ruined that for him. But if you go back to the original thing that he was saying, I took a knee to give awareness around social injustice, racial discrimination. How would you like for somebody to twist your meaning and make it a false narrative? And that's all I'm going to leave it at that. I understand that people feel disrespectful for the flag. How many of you have actually served in our military? How many of you have actually made a sacrifice or something and stand up for it? Those two things are so few and far between with the people that are making these arguments and that are so opinionated. I just think it's right versus wrong. Shout out to all the people that are protesting. Shout out to everybody that's standing up for something. We need more people, like that aren't causing trouble for anybody and trying to get their point across. So actually, in a weird way, it's actually a beautiful thing of what's going on right now. This is the first time I feel like 70% of our country has been united for something and have actually stand up for something. But I'm gonna just leave it at that. Like, don't try to twist somebody's false narrative. Don't try to twist somebody's narrative and make it false. You won't want somebody to do that to you, so don't do it to them. We just all got to stand by each other. And that's the beautiful thing about our podcast. We are so colorful across this podcast right now.
Yeah.
John's white,
absolutely.
Nelson's black, I'm the mixed guy. And we all came together, and our common cause was to talk football. We all came from different walks of life. Never do we ever come together and talk about, and disagree with how we were brought up. You can't really bring an opinion to somebody else's experience. So I'm not going to try to fight that. So at the end of the day, let's all come together, stand with each other, side by side, hand in hand, and just find a common cause. I hate that football is not the thing that we're talking about right now. But hopefully that comes along. And just remember, for people out there that don't want to make this a race thing, 70% of your football players are African American. What are you guys going to do when those African Americans go to these HBCU schools? Just put it like that. It's going to be a change in the times. So we just wanted to, come together and kind of give you our opinions on what's going on. This is not a political podcast by any, but I feel like it was important for us to tell you how we felt. And I know all three of us across the board were angry. We're angry, and we just want things to get better. I think here it doesn't matter if Don's white, I'm mixed, Nelson's black. We just want things to be right moving forward. So we'll leave it at that. So let's get on to, what we came here for today. One of our favorite podcasts from previous weeks.
Yes.
Actually last year, podcast was doing a division talks. It was amazing, the turnout that we had. How much you guys enjoyed it last time from the conversations that we had for people at work, people that are close to us. And we want to talk about two divisions today in the NFL, and we're going to go ahead and go over to the ACC in college because we can't forget about our college people. Regardless if we have a season or not, this is just going to be a fun conversation of what ifs of the the moves that were made this year. We definitely don't want to go into something especially for the season before the preseason starts and after. That's more for college. That's more for the fantasy football thing. We always like to do our fantasy drafts right after the preseason. So these are preseason predictions before the season comes around. So before we get started, Paul actually made a comment. 100% the truth, Dante. That's how the world views opinions now, as a personal attack against their own opinions. It's sad. Have a great day, guys. Stay strong. Paul Stout, one of my childhood friends in the chat here. We got to get together because he actually wants to sponsor an episode. Wasn't able to happen this week because of the changes, but shout out to him. Craig McPherson, thanks for addressing the issues, guys. No problem. We felt like it was important. So NFC East, we'll start there. We'll start with Nelson first. He's going to go ahead and give us his predictions on what the records are, and then he's going to give us what his and then from there we'll see what his division winner is going to be. So we'll go ahead and start with the Giants. What you got for the Giants?
All right, for the Giants, far as their record, I got them going 6-10.
6-10. All right.
I got them going 6-10. It's going to be a tough 6-10, but they're going to go 6-10. And should I tell you the reason why? Do you want to know that?
Yeah, well, I mean, what is that based off of?
So that's based off of two key factors here. Now, of course, they no longer have a threat on the wide receiver side, but what they do have is a quarterback in Daniel Jones, and of course, that man in the backfield, Saquon Barkley. Now, those are the key factors when it comes to their production. Now, it's not going to be enough. They're gonna make some splashes, and with the managing of Daniel Jones, he's going to be becoming better and better as the weeks go on. But if you think about it, the first 5 games is tough games. You got Pittsburgh, and then you're at Chicago. With that defense, this is going to be lethal. All right, and then you're playing San Francisco, and then you're playing the LA Rams, and then on top of that, the 5th game, you're just coming off a LA Rams loss, which I think they're going to do. You got to play Dallas, right, at Dallas, and so they're going to start off rough. And then on top of that, you got Washington, which I think they're going to squeak a win by. But then you right back where a tough team in your own division in Philly, right? Then you got Tampa Bay. Then they got Washington again. Then you got Philly, Cincinnati, Seattle, Arizona, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Dallas. So I think their schedule is really tough. And we all know that the NFC East they beat each other up. But in this case, with their firepower, and you lost one of the key players in Landon Collins on your defensive side. So your whole defense has to be restructured. But Joe Judge, aka JJ, he's going to try to figure out. He's going to at least get 6 wins out of that.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see every point that you made. It was pretty much valid and kind of lines up with what I got. Not as far as record, but kind of how basing the Giants off of this year. They do have a lot of firepower. Just see how they're going to put it together. So, going on with the Eagles. What you got for the Eagles, my man?
All right. For the Eagles, I got them going 9-7. All right? 9-7. And so
Hmm.
I got them going 9-7. And the reason why I say is that is because Doug Peterson has a formula that works. But people are figuring out his formula. Okay, people know what he's going to do. So that's the reason why I think they got Jalen Hurts, because now he's going to become unpredictable. How are you going to use Jalen Hurts? Where are you going to put him? Let's put him. If guys, you remember a guy named Cordell Stewart? He was
Hmm.
named Flash, right? He was
Yep.
he was everywhere on the field. So I think they're going to utilize him in that way. Carson Wentz, he's getting his confidence back, so he's going to have a couple receivers he can throw through. Of course, the captain of that squad is Zach Ertz, excuse me. And so he's going to be the heartbeat of that offense. So they're going to rally. They're going to come. They're going to win some solid games. And also man on the defensive side is Brandon Graham. He's been there the longest. All right, he can get to the quarterback, and he's going to make things happen. He's going to be the captain on the defensive end. And the reason why I say he will, because they lost their key safety, strong safety, and Michael Jenkins. I don't know why you would get rid of that man, but hey, you lost him,
Well,
right?
I
So
mean,
no,
he kind of had a progressive like down year too. So I guess
Yep.
he's getting up there in age, and
Exactly.
but yeah, I
yeah,
mean, definitely a missing piece of that puzzle when they really don't need to lose anybody on the secondary.
right. So you got a vocal leader in Michael Jenkins that will basically hey, I'm gonna steer you this way, I'm gonna steer you that way. Even though you lose somebody like that, I'm sure somebody's gonna step up, and I think Brandon Graham's gonna be that guy, and also Jalen Mills, he's gonna have to step up. But with the green hair, I know you got the green hair, Jalen, but but you're gonna have to step up,
He
man.
has he has not been good for them with the injuries and just being inconsistent. So
Right,
yep,
right, and
Eagles are definitely. I think Eagles are the most interesting team in this division this year. I think with everybody else, you're either going to see a regression or a progression. But with the Eagles, it's always been kind of interesting with them. So,
Yep.
Redskins, who you got?
so the Redskins, of course, they're always terrible, but they're always average to mediocre. So I got them going 8-8.
8-8. Okay.
And the only reason why I say this is because that the head coach they got now, Ron Rivera, he's going to come in with a new system, a new genre, a new swagger. He's going to new confidence. He's going to breed belief in his young players. Of course, you got Dwayne Haskins, you got Alex Smith. Although he's a great veteran guy, I'm sure he's going to help out when he can. But then he's coming back from injury too as well. And then you got, Peyton Barber, just running back by committee. Darius Geis, remember the running back from LSU.
Yeah,
He's been,
he's injuries, but I don't think he's
yeah,
been
Yeah.
as consistent as what they need him to be either.
right, right. But he's gonna have to step up. But then you got that monster on the other side of that ball, on the side of the offensive ball. You got Landon Collins. Now he's gonna make a big effort to carry that team defensively. Now they had to restructure. Now remember, defenses in NFL, they always adjust, but it's very complicated. And most of those guys on Washington are coming from Alabama. And guess where Landon Collins came from? Alabama. So he's going to connect with his guys. He's going to rally them up, and I think he's going to be a solid piece. And of course, Ron Rivera, he's coming from a defensive minded coach. So although he had big Cam Newton at the time, but he was a defensive guy. So I believe they go 8-8. They have a tough schedule too as well. It gets a little weaker as in the beginning, but then it gets stronger at the end. So I feel like they're going to go 8-8.
Okay.
All right.
Redskins are kind of interesting too, but it's more of are they going to progress or are they going to regress? So I think that's kind of that's the NFC East this year is the regression progression division. We're going to see some definite movement, or either is it going to look like it did last year, where it was pretty competitive towards the top, but kind of at the same time one of the most lackluster divisions in the
Yep.
NFL.
Yep.
Cowboys, who you got?
Oh man, so I got this. This is the winners of the NFC East. I got them
Oh,
going 10-6, 10-6. Now I know I know Stephen A. Smith, you're gonna love this, man. I got them win them out of the East, and the reason being is because of this man, Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy had his coaching staff go through the whole season and coach together, stand up, sit down, and follow the format. I think he has a nucleus core. I think he's going to bring life into Dallas because right now Dallas has been on the verge of either dysfunctional almost okay or mediocre, right? And then they have to bring in Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is going to push Dak Prescott to get the contract he needs. Dak Prescott right now needs someone to give him a little nudge, a little push. And I think Andy Dalton will do that. Last year, if you remember, he didn't really have someone pushing him. He was basically the guy. Now you got someone looking over your shoulder and say, "Hey, man, I can still do this. Even though I was in Cincinnati, I can still get the wins." Then I think
Yep.
he's going to push Dak Prescott to the limit. Of course, Ezekiel Elliott, he's going to be a monster. He's going to be that guy that you can give the ball to 15 to 30 times a game, and he'll make it happen for you. And of course, you got Amari Cooper. He's just hungry. He just wants the ball. Give him the feeding the ball, give him the first down so he can get the touchdowns. And then you got that man, CD Lamb. Oh my goodness. When you got Amari Cooper on the outside and you got CD Lamb coming up and catching the post, there's no stopping the Dallas Cowboys, especially with the mentality that Mark McCarthy is going to bring. I got them winning at first, one loss in 8 games. Okay, one loss in 8 games, and that loss is going to come to your boys, Dante, Seattle. I think they're going to lose to Seattle. Then after that, they're going to beat Pittsburgh. I think Minnesota's going to squeak by them. That's going to be like a shocker, right? And then, of course, the last 12 games: Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati, San Francisco, which they will lose to. Philadelphia, they will lose to, and the New York Giants are going to lose to. And the reason why I say that, because that's what Dallas Cowboys do. They start off fast.
Yep.
They start off completely coming down the pipe, and then they lose at the end. But I think they're going to win in the NFC East, just on the fact that Mike McCarthy is going to be behind the realm, and then Dak is going to step his game up even more to get him over the hump.
Wow.
Very interesting, Nelson.
This is very, very interesting. When you really look at the dynamics of this of Nelson's predictions, you got the Giants going last, the Eagles being mediocre, the Redskins at 500. And the Cowboys, I think that is going to be the most popular opinion in general for this division. I mean, 10-6. I mean, with all the most interesting team here is the Cowboys because of the moves that they made in the offseason. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
All right. So let me go ahead and clear these records out because
All right.
I'm coming in with my predictions next.
Yeah, those are the predictions of a running back. Now we're going to hear the predictions of a quarterback.
Here we go. So starting first with the Giants. Man. The New York Giants. I think are going to finish 9-7. I'm on the hype train with Daniel Jones.
He's on the Jones train.
I'm on the Jones train. But if you think about all the talent that they have too, I mean, you can't deny that Saquon Barkley, at the end of his career, will be looking back and saying that he was a Deion Sanders type of running back. I think they need to put the pieces around him because he's not Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders,
I think they really need to put the pieces around the guy because he does have a lot of talent. He is not Barry Sanders. I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying a Barry Sanders type. Don't twist my words. Don't get it twisted. Because Barry Sanders, when he was with the Lions, he did not have an offensive line whatsoever.
Right.
At least Saquon has something to play around with the guys up front.
Very true.
Shepard, very talented wide receiver, cannot stay healthy. I forget the other receiver's name. He's a very talented guy. And then you got their tight end who's very talented as well. Can't stay healthy, though. That's their issue.
Right. That's the big thing.
Healthy. I think Daniel Jones has a chip on his shoulder. He has a lot to, I don't want to say that his expectations are a lot because Eli Manning, to me, he's probably not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but just because he could put up the stats, and everybody's better than Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts is the worst Hall of Famer of all time, in my opinion. But, go look up the stats, people. I say this like every other week. Go look up the stats. Should Dan Fouts really be in the Hall of Fame? But to me, right now, I think this is a good spot for the Giants. I think that they might squeak into the playoffs if there's some worse teams out there. But I think they're heading into the right direction. Right now, they just need to, and this might be a good thing that they're not practicing right now, being physical, having OTAs. Like, this is good. Heal up your team, get them back in, the preseason don't try to put all your starters out there and have them get all busted up in the preseason either. Reserve your guys. Let them start week 1 all fresh. Put your team behind on the back of Saquon. Don't rely so much on Daniel Jones, because we've seen what Saquon can do when he gets 20, 25 carries a game. It's not a fluke that the guy has talent. So that's what I have for the Giants. Now we're gonna head over to Don's Eagles. Fly Eagles, fly! But y'all gonna be flying real low this season at 5-11. That's what I
have. You're going to do that to your boy Jalen Hurts?
I'm going to have to do it. Now, that is the if factor. Can Jalen Hurts come in and turn their season around after they're going to – I think, to me right now, the Eagles are the worst team in this division because I don't see a bright spot happening. I know they drafted Jalen Reagor at wide receiver. You played at TCU. I don't know. I just wasn't excited about the Jalen Reagor pick when CeeDee Lamb was there. But that's just like when the Panthers, they didn't draft Isaiah Simmons for whatever reason in the world. It just boggles my mind. I know your boys picked up Darius Slay, but that's only one guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes. There's so many holes to speak about.
They got Javon Hargrave too.
Yeah, you got him too. I think the brightest spot of this team by far, probably that interior line, defensive line, and linebacking core.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Nigel Bradham.
Linebackers.
Nigel Bradham has bright spots, but who knows? That's the interesting part. Is Doug Peterson, like Nelson said, have you really figured out the puzzle of Doug Peterson? Because
he brought in a lot of new coaches this year, so maybe that's part of it too.
So did Florida State 2 years in a row, and they still suck. So, I mean, it really just depends. You can bring in new coaches all day, but 1 year they're not going to mesh all the way together. You got to get through one season, and we've seen that in college football all the time. That's why people like Nick Saban, they like to keep their staff for a very long time before they start letting them go. They need a backup plan to back up the backup plan. But yeah, I have them being the worst team in this division this year. I'm sorry, Eagles, and it's sad to see that you guys went to the Super Bowl to worse to even worse, and now you're gonna be flying low this season. Watch out for them SEPTA buses, Eagles. So the next team we got on the list is the Washington Redskins. I got them at a 7-9. They're an interesting team. What are they going to do with Darius Geis is one thing.
Right. Yeah.
Does Dwayne Haskins, is he's really the answer at quarterback? Who knows? He has his later part of the season, though, was pretty damn good. We have to admit that. There's a reason why he went to Ohio State and played and had a winning program. I mean, the guy has bright spots. He seems like being so young, being so bright, that he's got a bright future ahead of him. Adrian Peterson being there as a mentor, still a great thing. I believe you have to bring in players like that at the later end of their career, not just for the play, but just to get the team morale going again. The defense is something that's just interesting. You got Ryan Kerrigan there, who I think is one of the most underrated defensive ends in the league.
He is good.
And then Landon Collins. Landon Collins had a down year last year compared to what he had with the Giants. But I still think, I know we've been talking about your boy from the Jets, Harrison Smith at the Vikings, as some of the best receivers. But Don, you remember 2 years ago when Landon Collins was crunching people up, and it was just it was feared to be in the back line as a running back because you got Landon Collins sitting back there ready to crunch you up at any second. I don't know.
Right.
They're interesting. I don't know if they're really going to find their way. This is going to be the season where we really get to see what Riverboat Ron Rivera gets to do with that team. We know that he's going to have a great offense, but I just hope he doesn't contain Dwayne Haskins like he did with your boy Cam Newton. But Dwayne Haskins is not really that type of quarterback either, so maybe he can mold him into the quarterback that he really wants. Did something happen here? Are we good? Did Nelson drop off? Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. What happened to my team? Can you guys hear me? Oh, let's see what happened. Hold on, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. Oh, snaps. Well, guys, who's all still in here? Because looks like WebEx totally pooped the bed just now. Let's see. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. That was crazy.
Yeah, it just clocked out.
I think WebEx just had a hiccup for a second. There he is.
Hey, man.
All right. I think WebEx threw up on itself.
Yeah, it did something. I'm like, where'd you guys go?
Yeah, it puked on itself. All right.
That's what you. It was all your fault, Dante, man. Talking about the Eagles like that.
Started talking about the Eagles. Jacked us all up.
That's messy. But it's all good.
It's all good, man. All the good calls. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. Get you guys all straight. Sorry everybody that's watching on Facebook. We're having had some technical difficulties with WebEx. Generally, it's been pretty good to us.
I know. That was a surprise.
All right, there we go. I think that's. Are we good to go there now? Yeah. All right. All right, I think we're back. We're back in the attack. Okay, so after I started talking about the Washington Redskins, then it puked on itself. So, all right. So next we got the Cowboys. So obviously this is my division winner too, just like it was last year. I think that there's a lot of bright spots, and I have them going at 11-6. I think they got a lot of bright spots. Their defense is ever changing, which is always the question mark there.
Yeah, big question mark.
But their defensive line and linebackers are good if you look across the board. Their offensive line, we already know their offensive line is the real MVPs because Ezekiel Elliott, I will always say, if you take that offensive line away, Ezekiel Elliott is not that good. He doesn't just seem like an impressive running back to me. Now, if you look at somebody like Dalvin Cook, for example, Dalvin Cook does a lot of things dynamically for the Vikings. You plug Dalvin Cook into the Cowboys offense, man, oh man, that dude might have a 3,000-yard rushing season.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just not on the hype train with Ezekiel. Maybe he'll prove me wrong once that line gets depleted. Didn't Travis Frederick retire this year? So I think there's one guy down for him. We'll really see how that's going to turn out. Dak Prescott, I think it's a good thing that they bring somebody like Andy Dalton in that was a starter because it's only going to add competition. Competition across the board is really good regardless of where you go. That's why we have McDonald's and Burger King going at it. That's why we have, the mattress stores. They always seem to open right across from each other. This is why we have stuff that happens. Now, I can get into the Madden thing all day, but this is why Madden sucks every year because they don't have any competition. But that's neither here nor there. I have the Dallas Cowboys going 11-6. I really don't have too much else to say. I just think they have a talented team. Their wide receivers are good. Their defense is pretty good. Their offensive line is pretty good. There's no reason why their special teams is good. There's no reason why they shouldn't have less than 10 games won this year, are they going to be a disappointment like they were last year? Don says yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. So since this is Don's division, man, we'll have you go ahead after I clear. Let me go ahead and clear my records out, and we'll have you start with the Giants.
Sounds good, man. Hey, I'll start off by saying in the next 2 years, this division is probably going to have every team at 8-8 or better because this division is just going to get better and better.
Yep.
There's a lot
I
of
agree with
potential
that.
for the teams, and it's going to get back to the kind of division it used to be. But starting off with the Giants, I got the Giants at 6-10. I'm right on board with Nelson there. I just don't think they can. They're putting the pieces together. I just think their schedule is not going to be friendly to them.
What'd you say the record was? I'm sorry, it blipped out.
6-10.
6-10.
Yep.
6-10. All right.
So I mean, they're going to have a tough schedule. I think, I will give them this. I think one of the biggest surprises that they may have this year is pulling off a victory against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. That's probably going to be their Super Bowl this year. But I just don't see them putting all the pieces there. They're close. In another year or two, yeah, they're going to be much better.
You think? Wow.
Yep,
All
much
right.
better. It's just I think it's a building process, and they're putting some of the pieces there, and others they're not. I just don't think their priorities are where they belong. So they'll get there.
So what do you think about your Eagles then?
Okay, this is going to be smoke and mirrors, guys. Eagles are going to go at 10-6.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm interested.
10-6. On paper, they look like probably the second best team in the division.
Okay.
Was their draft strong? It was okay. I like the receivers they got compared to what they had last year. I like the team that's coming back healthy. They do have quite a lot of weak spots that haven't been addressed. But I think with the particular coaches they brought in, I'm buying into what Peterson has here. I'm buying into using Jalen Hurts somehow. I think he's a talented player. Like Dante has always said, he learned 2 different playbooks in college and was successful.
I believe he learned like 6 different playbooks because Nick Saban's offense is ever changing. That's why they're so good every year is because they adapt.
I think this year is going to be very similar to last year where it doesn't look like the Eagles are going to win it. The Cowboys are in the lead, but when it comes to the end of the season, you're going to be like, how did they do that? It's smoke and mirrors, but they're going to pull off a 10-6.
Okay.
All right.
Redskins. I have these guys similar to the Giants. I like the building blocks that are in. I just don't see them being cohesive this year. Next year, I see, at least 3, maybe 4 more wins, but I have them at 5-11. I have them bringing up the rear.
Dang, man.
I like Rivera. I like what he's going to do. I like the potential with Haskins. I like the way the defense is starting to come along. They are going to lose some really close, tight games this year. They are almost there. Now for my favorite, the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they got a new head coach, and I think that was a very good move for them.
Mm-hmm.
They had a glamorous draft. They got the name.
You're bringing Mike McCarthy in that has a proven track record of actually winning, which is not so scary when you think about it. So for everybody that says Mike McCarthy's not that good of a coach, try handling Aaron Rodgers' personality.
Yep.
He's not the easiest person to deal with from what people say. So.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, Cowboys. On paper, they should win the division, but they have not sold me the past couple years. I mean, these guys are trying to build up their D line by signing Alden Smith on the D line. I mean, come on, guys. That
can
should
smoke
not
his
be the
weed
highlight.
now, Don. Josh Gordon's making a comeback too. They can smoke their weed.
Yeah,
They might be
and
okay.
yeah, I like one reporter's take on the signing of Alden Smith. He said it was a shocking move considering his criminal rap sheet is 10 times longer than Antonio Brown and Joe Exotic combined.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
But I have the Dallas Cowboys in a very close race at 9-7.
9-7. That's very
Oh, how
interesting.
about that?
Yep.
Okay.
9-7 Cowboys. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to predict this division, and this is kind of like why I wanted to go first with them. It's because they're probably the most interesting, and I think when you look at the other divisions across the board, you can kind of predict, and I expect our predictions to be fairly close. I think we'll have maybe one or two shockers that come in there and we're just like, whoa, I wasn't expecting you to say that, but pretty
Right.
much,
Yeah.
I think collectively all of us can almost agree that somebody like the Buccaneers, we're probably think they're going to win the division. I would say when we start getting to that point, or he's close in second place, but that's just one of those things. So Don's got him at 9-7 for his Cowboys. Now,
Yeah.
to move on to the NFC West, I'm going to go last here since this is my division, where the Seahawks lie. But we'll go ahead and start with Nelson again. Go ahead.
You said AFC.
NFC West. Sorry, NFC West. So we got Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, and the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. All right. So, as far as your Seattle Seahawks, I got them going 11-5.
11-5. All right.
Yep.
Is that division winner?
No. Something about Seattle Seahawks defense. I don't care who they have on that side. They know how to win. They know how to stop. They know how to finish. I mean, anytime you have a football clinic and the first thing you see on how to tackle and how to form fit, they are always number one when it comes to that. So I think Bobby Wagner, he's been there the longest. He's going to lead that defense, and he's going to be great. He's going to be awesome. He's going to lead that team, and there's just some monsters on that Seattle defense. And plus, with that 12th man in the stands, it's hard to beat Seattle's defense. Now, getting to that offense, Russell Wilson, future Hall of Famer. That man is the guy. He's going to lead that squad, and they might get back Marshawn Lynch, but I might be on that's on the rumor. But anyway, Russell Wilson knows how to lead a team. I saw him play against the Carolina Panthers live, and he's so smooth, so fluid, and he's such a leader, and he's such a vocal leader too as well. When he's mic'd up, if you let's go to NFL Network, NFL League Pass, the man knows what he's doing. He knows how to direct his guys. And don't forget that, I got to give him a running back some love. They got Carlos Hyde. He's going to come out. He's going to have a productive season as well. But you got to think about that receiving core, okay? You got DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett. They're working on their
it was going to be a complete bust, but DK Metcalf was like destroying, the opposition last year.
Right. They're right now working on their end zone dances. Trust me. They're gonna
Best
they're gonna
end zone
find
dance last year was them. Hold
right.
on. I gotta find the video. Go ahead and keep talking, Nelson.
Yeah. So I think overall they're going to be solid. Their defense is always solid. Now their schedule is very interesting. They got Atlanta first. They got New England, Dallas. They got Miami. And they got Minnesota, right? I think out of those 5 games, they win 4. They're going to beat Atlanta. They're going to beat New England because we all know the state of New England right now. Dallas, they're going to beat them. Miami, and they're going to for some reason, I think Minnesota is going to have a surprising year. I think they're going to lose to Minnesota. Then after that, they have Arizona, which they're going to smash, but they're going to lose to them San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry, they're going to lose to them. But then coming to come later on in the season, I'm gonna say this because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. They're gonna win the Buffalo. You know what I mean? Because I got a respect for Seattle. But then they got the LA Rams. They're gonna win. Arizona, they're gonna kill. Philadelphia, I got them winning. Of course, they're going to beat the Giants. Of course, they're going to beat the Jets. Of course, they're going to beat the Washington Redskins. But then those 2 last games is going to be tough because that's what Seattle does. Sometimes Seattle, they get to the point where it's crucial games. And I think when the LA Rams at the end of the schedule and San Francisco, they're going to lose to them twice. So I
Mm.
got them going 11-5, and they're going to be in the playoffs. So I got them going 11-5.
I can dig it. Now I gotta play the video for you guys because I found it, and I just have to show it. It was the best end zone dance of all time so far. It was so coordinated. It was so good. Take a peek at this one.
Okay, with the neon green. Oh yeah. You see Lockett up in there, he doing his thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Val.
There you go.
It was so good.
Awesome.
It was so good.
That was nice.
All right, so now that you got the Seahawks out the way, I mean, pretty respectable record. I can't be mad at that. I totally get it too.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to head over to the the LA Stinkers.
Actually, I don't think their room is gonna be that bad, man. So I got them going 10-6, and I'll tell you why.
How?
I don't get this one.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Don't start off with their quarterback.
No, I'm sorry with their head coach, Sean McVay. Sean McVay is learning, and he's getting stronger and stronger every year. Now, don't get me wrong. Sean McVay, he had his chance in the Super Bowl. I don't think they're ever going to go back to the Super Bowl, but he learned from that experience, and he's going to rally them troops. He's going to get them right, and he's a young guy. He's relatable, and he's for the players. Now, Jared Goff. Yes, he's gonna have to. His curve. He's gonna have to, get back on his horse, get back to when he first started. But he's gonna do something cool. Now Cooper Cup. He's a receiver. He
Yes.
might make a splash. He's gonna do something, and he's gonna add, to that offense. And I think he's gonna be a key factor. And that's gonna be his buddy. Defensive wise, hey, one man that comes in mind. Actually, two men: Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. So I think. LA.
Two of the best at their position by far. Like,
Yep,
I
by far.
I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're not a Florida State fan or not. You got to respect the way that Jalen Ramsey just locks up people. I mean, he puts the clamps on them.
Right. He made an immediate difference when he got there last year. I mean, I think within like maybe 4 games, he had 2 interceptions, and he's just, anytime you come off an armored truck, with Hot Davis, you're making your presence known. That's the ego right there, and he's going to bring that swagger and that confidence to that defense, and it's just going to add, fuel to the fire. Aaron Donald is just a beast.
He is
hands
a
down.
beast.
He's just going to do that. So they're going to lead the way for the defense. Now, if you look at the schedule, number one, they got the first 8 games: Dallas, Philadelphia, Buffalo, which they're going to lose to, the Giants, Washington, and San Francisco, which you're going to lose to as well. Chicago and Miami. That's a pretty weak schedule coming off. Now you get later part. You got Seattle, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Arizona, New England, the Jets, Seattle, Arizona. So they're going to win out, I think, when it comes to the last 13, the last 4 or 5 games. But I think something is going to get to the point where they're going to start off rocky at first, and then they're just going to, get stronger as the season goes on, and they're going to end up 10-6.
All right. Well, nothing's as ugly as their jerseys right now either. So I don't know. I see them stinking it up. That new color that they got, where it's like that creamy white color, they said the name of it is Bone.
I don't see that.
I guess it's supposed to like resemble the actual Rams like horn.
Okay.
It's ugly. Yeah, nobody put gradient on your colors where it just goes from like light white to blue. Like it doesn't work. Those are the no. I honestly take it back. The Falcons jerseys are the worst with the chrome face mask. Have they not learned a lesson?
Yeah.
Everybody's had chrome face masks, even in college. They take them away.
Yep.
I don't get it. That the Buccaneers and the Browns were smart to go back to their old school jerseys. They said, let's do the smart thing. Let's not make any. Nike is just a bunch of idiots. That's what it is. They don't know how to make jerseys. But anyways, I'm getting off my little soapbox here. The Cardinals. Interesting.
So
team.
they are very interesting. And then, this is like the future, for Arizona.
Yes.
So, I could see them being, good later on down the line. But I got them going 7-9. And I'll tell you why.
All right.
The person that's going to be their X factor It's not their players. It's going to be Cliff Kingsbury because he's getting a lot of flack. He's going to have to learn how to coach in the NFL. This is not college anymore. These are grown men. You're going to have to figure out different
Yep.
adjustments, and he's going to be the deciding factor of their season. Now, getting to their players, Kyler Murray. I think with that year underneath his belt, he's going to figure some things out. He's gonna
He
be
was
great
way
at what
better
he
than I
does.
thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and when you have that second year and you're coming in knowing that you got a NFL, 1 year NFL experience, he's gonna be amazing. And of course you got that man with
Amazing.
the
The
hands. Yeah,
amazing is right.
yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
Whew.
He is going to be the man in Arizona. Now I get you, and I tell you why, because he has Larry Fitzgerald that's going to guide him along. Larry's been doing it for
Yep.
years. Larry's a future Hall of Famer. Shout out to Larry. I knew that when I played with him in Valley Forge. But anyway, he is going to enhance DeAndre Hopkins' game even further. Like DeAndre is good, but he's going to become even better, even great now. I'm sorry, he's great. He's going to become amazing. So I think
Amazing.
yeah, he's gonna be fantastic, man. And with Larry being there, man, the seasoned vet, he's gonna just mold him into to that player that we all know he's gonna even be better be. Now, of course, the
And
defense
he's got
is
a chip
dismal,
on his
man.
shoulder, and every time DeAndre Hopkins has a chip on his shoulder, it's even
Yeah,
worse. It's like when Tom Brady got suspended and then won the Super Bowl. And it was like,
yeah,
man,
he
pretty much
Yep.
middle fingers up to
Yep.
Roger Goodell. Yeah, you tried, and we still won.
Yep.
yeah, he said only man I fear is God. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's just fearless. So, but then that defense is dismal. That's why I got them going 7-9 because Patrick Peterson is he has 10 year experience. He's going to his 11th year. There's so much that man can do. Of course, you got so a couple key players, but I just think their defense is dismal. I mean, every year they have the average score against them is pretty high. So I think they're just not going to have enough on defense to carry them through. As you see, their schedule: San Francisco, Washington, Detroit,
Hmm.
Carolina, the Jets, Dallas, Seattle, Miami, and it just it gets tougher. Buffalo, Seattle, New England, the Rams, Giants, Philadelphia, San Francisco, LA. So they're in a tough division. But they're not going to have enough firepower on defense to become get over 500.
Well,
Yeah. From what I'm seeing, 10 out of the 16 games they have this year, they're playing teams that finished 500 or better last year.
Yeah,
nice. Well,
and a lot of these games are away too.
little
Yep.
trivia about DeAndre Hopkins. Do you know why he wears number 10?
Talk to me.
His cousin, I believe it was. His cousin got 10 years in prison for having $600 worth of drugs on him. So that's why he
Mm,
wears the number 10.
Ooh,
that's tough.
That's crazy, right?
that is
Six
crazy.
hundred dollars
That
worth
is
of
crazy.
drugs. I think it was weed.
600.
I think it was like weed or something. I don't think it was like any hard drug. I think it was like weed, and he got 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing. So next thing, 49ers, man. Don't
Hey,
your division
you
winner.
already know. You already know. Ding, ding, ding. Division winner. So I got them as NFC West champs. Now, Cal Shanahan.
What's the record?
Of course. Oh, I'm sorry. 12-4.
12 and
Let's
4.
put that out there.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
you got this being the closest division so far.
Yeah. And you know how they do it out west, man. They get W's, man. So I think the reason why they're going to go 12-4 is they're not going to have a hangover from last year in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to still have that push and drive and that fire in the pit in their stomach, knowing that they could have had a chance to win against a great Kansas City Chiefs team. Cal Shanahan, he's learning as he's going through his experiences. Of course, we know the Super Bowl 28-3 lead loss for him, and then now having this experience being in the Super Bowl, being a head coach, knowing that you could have made the right play here and there, or called the right play here and there to make a difference. I think he's going to just be full throttle, razor sharp focus. He's going to make the right decisions here in the future. Jimmy Garoppolo, God bless his heart. He's going through some times now where he's trying to figure out the defense, and he got to learn how if that linebacker's coming to blitz, hey, I got a hot route, or if that
Hmm.
safety's coming down, I
Yep.
got to learn to throw the ball. So I think with that last year, he saw full front when it came to the Super Bowl, and he knows when it comes to his defense, he's going to make the adjustments. Running back by committee. Now, there's going to be a whole slew of those guys out there. There's not one main guy. So running back by committee, I think they're gonna, all 6 or 7 of those guys are gonna make a difference in, whatever they positions are going to be. But that man, George Kittle, I tell you what, that man is a heart and soul of that offense. Just give him the ball and just watch because you can't tackle him. I don't know if you remember that play last year. He caught the ball, run up the sideline, tossed one guy off of him, threw another guy off him, and he just went and he's so cool and he kept going and he's just a beast on that. And then you got that grandfather and Richard Sherman. I think he's still going to be the captain of that squad. He's still going to have him, have them mentally sharp when it comes to defenses. Cover 1, 3, 2. He may have to get a little hamstring work there. Of course, he got burnt in the Super Bowl, but still, I think he's so smart on and off the field.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying him.
Yep.
Of course, you look at the schedule here: Arizona, the Jets, the Giants, Philly. I think they're going to lose to Philly, though. I think Philly going to pull one off on the beginning. Miami, the Rams, New England, in Seattle. I think they're going to lose two games out of that 8, and then for the rest of the season, I think they're going to smash Green Bay. New Orleans is going to be tough, so I think they're going to lose to them. But then you got LA Rams. Yes, they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills, of course. No, I'm sorry. No. So, but then Washington, Dallas, Arizona. I think they're going to win out and and coast into the playoffs.
Wow.
Okay.
So as of right now, this is the powerhouse division. It seems like with the way that you got the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers, they can win on any given Sunday and be a
Yes.
division winner. It's just really, really how they're going to fill each other out based off of what you have here and how they're going to adjust to each other. Very
Yes.
interesting. All right. Well, Don,
All righty.
what you got for my
Some
Seahawks,
of it's
man?
going, yeah, some of it's going to be the same. Some of it's going to be different. I got the Seahawks 11-5.
11-5
Ooh.
too. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be another repeat of what we've seen. This is a very good team. It's always been a very good team. They are going to lose a couple games that are winnable, but overall, they're just going to be solid all year. I don't
Not your
have any.
division
I
winner.
don't have. I no. I don't have them winning the division. Believe it or not. You'll see how close I have it, though.
Okay. What
All right.
you got for the
Who's
Rams?
next? The Rams. Oh, one of the top elite quarterbacks. No, no, wait, that's the wrong team.
I was about to say,
Rams.
don't do it. Don't piss me off today, Don. Jared Goff. Jared sucks.
Nah, Rams are a little off. I don't think they're going to recover this year. Um, I do like a lot of the players on their team. The only thing is, I don't see them cohesive as a team this year. I think they're just off. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they do have
Salary
to
cap
make a lot of
issues. That's what's up.
road trips. They got to go to Philly. They got to go to Buffalo. They got to go to Tampa. So I mean, that's some long trips. I got the Rams at 7-9.
Oh, okay.
Not horrible, but
Yep.
still not great.
No, they're right there.
They're
They're
taking a
just
downfall after their Super Bowl too. It
yeah.
kind of reminded me of who did we talk about before? The Philly. They remind me a lot of Philly right
Yeah.
now, in the way that they're hitting a downfall. So
And like I said about the NFC East, in a year or two, everybody's going to be 500 or better. I'm looking at that right now for the NFC West because I got the Arizona Cardinals coming in at 8-8.
8-8.
8-8.
Dang. All right.
I
An
like them.
improvement.
I'd like to say they would do better, and it wouldn't surprise me at a 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're quite there yet. I think they get it together this year and then watch them next year.
Okay. Yeah, there's a
Uh,
lot of new pieces there.
a
So,
lot of new
and
pieces,
what are they gonna
and
do with Isaiah Simmons?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Wrapping up the division with the Niners. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
What?
11-5.
11-5.
Wow.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
close.
I got them tying with the Seahawks, but the Niners winning the division.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And Niners are going to. I think they're going to be the type of team that is in control of the division most of the year. I think Garoppolo is going to improve. I think as a team they're going to come together. But they are going to drop a game or two. Like Nelson was saying, he sees them dropping one to Philly. They're going to have one or two that's going to just totally shock everybody. It's going to be like, how did they lose that? Otherwise, they would have been a clear-cut 12-4 or something like that. But I think they are the winner of the division this year.
Interesting. So, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Right now, I think all of us collectively had Seattle going 11-5 on all of our records. That was the team that we agreed across the board. I also have them going 11-5.
There you go.
Okay.
And the division winners, not by much.
Hey,
there we go.
Division winners. I just
is it because of Russell Wilson?
It's because of the way that I think he's gonna mesh with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett this year.
Gotcha.
And I'm not necessarily concerned about their backfield as much. I mean, they got Chris Carson, who was having a decent season up until he got hurt.
Yep, up until he got
I don't know
hurt.
if Marshawn Lynch will be back, but I think they bring him back on a morale booster. And then, that offensive line is pretty decent. Will Dissly, he had a pretty good year last year. And then their defense, they're just molding together more than anything. Bobby Wagner's bringing that team together. I don't necessarily think we're going to see the Legion of Boom, but that whole team relies on Russell Wilson's shoulders.
Yep.
But I think this year it's going to be scary on offense for them. It's going to be real scary just to see the potential that them dudes are going to have, because DK Metcalf is going to be so physical with those cornerbacks, and I think he's growing into his own. And then having to go against Richard Sherman twice is really going to be helpful for him. Tyler Lockett is just the quiet, speedy guy that's just going to get open. And I mean, it's always been like that. Let's really think about it. Doug Baldwin was like that too. Yep. These low-name guys that you don't hear of that are like super, super threats that should be more touted than they are. But I got the Seahawks winning this division. I don't even see that it's close in record, but I don't even see it being close in their division. I think they're gonna, and I'll put it out there, I think they're gonna sweep the division this year. I don't see any of these teams.
Bold prediction.
I don't see any of these teams winning against the Seahawks. I think it's just the rest of their record that they're gonna have to be playing these other teams from other divisions that they're gonna lose to. But this team this year, as far as predictions go, nobody in the NFC West is winning against them. I don't possibly see that happening this year.
Not even a split, huh?
No, not even a split. No, I think it's going to be a clean sweep.
Wow. Okay.
Next, I have the Rams going at let me change this record because that was a record from before. 4-12.
Whoa! Wow.
I have them being like on the bottom 5 worst teams in the NFL next year.
Really?
I think they're going to get humbled real fast. I don't think their
defense would not shock me. I'll tell you that right now.
Their offense is not going to be able to hold up what their defense is going to be able to do. Their defense, they'll have close games. They'll have really disappointing games all year. I don't think they're going to be like if you look at their games all year long, I do not think it's going to be where they're like the worst team. It's just going to be like, dang, we really lost by 1 point. Dang, we really lost by a field goal. They're going to have very close games. I mean, we're going to see 7-12. 14 and 10. Like, we're going to see games like that.
So you're going to say right now, you're going to say the Rams are going to be the best 4-12 team in the NFL.
They will be a team that should be 8-8, but are going to end up being 4-12. I think that's really what we're going to be looking at.
Dang.
And 2 of those losses are going to come by the Seahawks, and it's not going to be close.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Seahawks are going to smash them like 28-7. I don't think Jared Goff I don't think he's really going to mature. I know I'm so hard on him, but I don't see I think the highest ceiling that we saw for him is when they went to the Super Bowl that year and he choked. He always chokes in big games. And the 2 games that they're going to play against the Seahawks are going to be big games where it's either going to turn out if they're going to be second in the division or not, and they're going to end up losing really bad, and it's going to ruin the morale for that team. Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf is going to be the most interesting matchup of next year too. I don't see that's going to be an exciting battle because you're going to have this big dude they're not going to lock up Tyler Lockett on him. They're going to put DK Metcalf and really see if he's as strong as he thinks he is.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. That's going to be the most interesting matchup, wide receiver versus cornerback next year.
It will be.
It's going to be very interesting. We got a little bit of what that was like with Richard Sherman, but if DK Metcalf totally destroys Richard Sherman and Jalen Ramsey next year, and Patrick Peterson, think about the NFC West right now. That is cornerback U right there right now.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I mean, from old school to new school, you got the physical, you got the zone, and you got Patrick Peterson that can do it all. Yeah, I don't see the salary cap issue is going to be a problem with them next year. They're not paying Aaron Donald all that money, paying Jalen Ramsey all that money. Cooper Kupp is really going to be their number one receiver by far because they let what's his name go because of salary cap issues. What running back do they have there now?
You can't name him. That's the thing.
Exactly. And without a running back for Jared Goff is going to be a huge issue. He's going to get so exposed this year. I'm very passionate about this because without Todd Gurley, there is no good Jared Goff. It's going to be bad Jared Goff until they find themselves a running back. Then he's gonna get exposed. Cardinals, I see them going 8-8, just like Don. I think this is a team in the next 2 years. Cliff Kingsbury is gonna get his respect. He's got the right pieces around him. I even predict next year if everything holds up for this year and I see a bright spot, I don't see how we don't say that they are competing for the number one spot next year in the NFC West. I absolutely don't see it why we wouldn't consider them the next best team.
Yep.
As long as Kyler Murray stays in that system and stays healthy, DeAndre Hopkins, we know what he's capable of. Isaiah Simmons is really going to be interesting to see what Cliff Kingsbury is going to do with him. I think out of all the teams that drafted this year, now that we think about it, the way that Cliff Kingsbury thinks so much differently than other coaches, man, him picking Isaiah Simmons on his defense, he's going to have a field day. And Chandler Jones, 18.5 sacks, I think it was last year.
Yes.
Like, silently, nobody talked about that. And that dude's been so consistent, if not getting better every single year.
Yep.
They have one of the best teams that is going to be sad to see them go 8-8 just because there's going to be their schedule is like a nightmare.
It is.
But to be 8-8 in this day and age, they could be a playoff team that goes 8-8. To be completely honest. But I don't see that happening in this division because I think that the 49ers are going to be a little better than them. I don't see them at 11-5. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. I see them at a 9-7. 9-7, and it really is going to fall on Jimmy Garoppolo's shoulders.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get exposed next year again. I don't think your boy at tight end, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Kittle.
George Kittle is amazing.
George Kittle.
Yes. Emmanuel Sanders is gone now.
Yep.
That just took you down a notch. Your running backs, what are they going to do? Are they going to run every single offense this year where they're going to run 90% of running? Because the thing that got them exposed, and let's ask ourselves why. Nobody said this during the playoffs last year before they went to the Super Bowl. How is it that you ran almost 50 times in a playoff game, only passed, 3 or 4 times that game?
Yep.
If you weren't confident in the way that Jimmy Garoppolo was. That exposes Kyle Shanahan there a little bit. You must be scared of what this dude is incapable of. Because why would you do that? You're not doing this. During the whole season, there wasn't a blueprint that said the 49ers are going to kill you guys in the running game. There must have been something that Kyle Shanahan is really, really concerned about with Jimmy Garoppolo. We haven't seen it yet, but we got a little taste of it in the Super Bowl. That dude chokes in big games. Yep. I see this whole division right now. It's kind of scary. Think about this. Seahawks and the Cardinals got 2 good running backs that got strong arms, can improvise on the run. And you got the Rams and the 49ers who are kind of almost scary, similar quarterbacks too. Without a big running game, they get exposed.
True.
NFC West, very interesting division again, but I don't see how anybody's beating the Seahawks this year. Pete Carroll is just an homage to him. He's a great coach, man. Regardless if you like him or not, that dude puts people together that you don't talk about. Nobody talks about Bobby Wagner.
Hey.
Nobody. Get it. Put some respect on my man's name. Put some respect on his name. He's one of the best if not the best linebacker now that Luke Kuechly's gone.
Right.
How about that?
So let's go ahead. I know we're running over time here. We've been running over time these last couple of shows, but
hey, man, when the show is flowing, why not, man?
Yeah, why not? So we want to go ahead and get over to Atlantic winner, Coastal winner, ACC champ. That is this is what we're gonna talk about ACC next, man. This is an interesting division in our conference in college football because I think they're right in between what. They kind of have the speed of a Pac-12 conference, but also have the physicality of an SEC conference. I think that's kind of like where they lie, is like a mesh like that. They're not as big as a Big Ten conference, but they're not as dynamic as a Big 12 conference. It's so weird. The ACC kind of fits like in that mold. So Nelson's going to give his prediction last. Don's going to give his predictions first, and I'll go right in the middle. So, Don, who do you got winning the Atlantic?
The Atlantic. I don't think this is going to be a surprise for anybody. I say Clemson, and I think they're going to have a really, really good season. I mean, they're bringing back their quarterback, their running back. I think the biggest game on their schedule to watch out for late in the season, assuming they have a season, is going to be that matchup at Notre Dame. But I see Clemson possibly going 8-0 in the ACC and possibly undefeated on the season.
I don't see that. Now that's not going to be a possibility. I don't think anybody's competing with the Atlantic Division, and with all the controversy that's going on in Florida State, man, we just cannot we can't catch a break. I mean, well, let's talk about that a little bit before we get into the rest of these. Mike Norvell saying that he reached out to all his players individually, and then, one of our defensive linemen coming out, one of the captains of the team, one of the bright spots of our team, coming out and saying, no, he definitely didn't. It was a mass text to everybody asking if they want to speak. He'll speak with us individually, but for him to come out and say that he spoke to every single player individually, as historically as it is, Florida State is still the biggest threat to Clemson. And when they are not playing well, Clemson has nothing to worry about in that Atlantic Division, to be completely honest. I mean, who there in the Atlantic that you can name right now is a threat? I mean, think about it. The ACC conference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just look at it. For example, right? So, if we go to the Atlantic Division, we got Boston College. Nope. Clemson, absolutely winning. Florida State, the only threat. Louisville's not what they were before. They could possibly maybe surprise NC State, worst team in that division last year. Syracuse only won 2 games. Wake Forest, absolutely not. They have a clean road to victory in the Atlantic Division.
Pretty much.
I don't see how Clemson doesn't just go in there and just smash everybody.
I agree.
So, Coastal winner, who you got?
Okay, this is going to be tight.
There's a couple good teams in there.
Yeah,
that could take
there's going to be a couple games that just tell the tale here, but I'm going to go with North Carolina.
Oh,
North Carolina.
Throw your hands up. Take your shirt off.
Okay, here we go. So, how big of a stretch would it be to say that the Tar Heels have the best quarterback in the ACC, not named Trevor Lawrence?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name is going from Virginia now, so.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about him last year. I don't see anybody else.
I really think Sam Howell's going to have a good year for him. They are going to be neck and neck in the season with Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is bringing back 18 starters. They're going to be tough. And I think it's going to come down to a very pivotal game that North Carolina is probably going to be favored in. But I think most people are predicting them to lose to Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I think if they win that game, that's what clinches the Coastal Conference for them.
Okay. So, with that being
And I
said,
believe they do host Virginia Tech also. I think that's an important game.
wow. So, with that being said, you got Clemson being your ACC winner.
Absolutely.
I think that might be a trend across the board here because
Yeah.
this is kind of how I see it. I see Clemson winning the Atlantic.
Yep.
I mean, I don't see how they don't win. I see them going back and competing for another national championship. I mean, I think they're that good. I think Dabo Swinney has figured it out. And I've been very critical of Dabo Swinney over the years. But after their last win, I don't see how they don't, to be completely honest. Especially with Trevor Lawrence there. I think now that Trevor Lawrence he started off okay and had a pretty good season. I think now he knows that where his potential lies. And, yeah, I remember watching this video on Cam Newton on his second year. Trevor Lawrence is probably thinking the same thing. He's like, you know, this offseason is going to be scary because I know what I got to work on. I know what holes I got to fill. It's going to be scary again for that team. I think, what's his name, Ross, that was a wide receiver. He's having back surgery or spinal. He had a spinal injury or something that he's getting worked on, but it won't matter. Somebody else will step up. Think of all the Clemson wide receivers that have gone to the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, I can go down the line and name them. They've been successful. My Coastal winner, I got Virginia Tech.
Yep. I don't blame you.
I was
close.
I was very conflicted between three teams. North Carolina, of course. Virginia Tech. And this might surprise you, but Georgia Tech.
Oh, really?
I had Georgia Tech thrown in there.
Wow.
They had a lot. Their recruiting out of high school was pretty good this offseason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see Georgia Tech. They had some pretty bright spots last year when they were playing as well. But
I think next year's going to be the year to watch for them. I think they're making the right moves, like you said, but I don't think it's going to come through till next year.
I mean, they ended last season with a 2-6 record, but you know, overall they were 3-9. I mean, but if you look at their games that they played, though, you know, like at Clemson they lost 52-14. That was expected. If you're looking at the North Carolina game, it was 22-38, closer game there. Had a pretty close game against Miami. They won 28-21, which Miami had all the talent in the world last year. You know, just stuff like that. I mean, you look at the Virginia game. Virginia had a really decent team last year, 33-28. Yep. So they've had some bright spots. Lost to Pitt 2010. They're getting their groove back. Just as long as they don't bring back that whole spread offense like they used to do back in the day, where everybody figured that out after so long. And then, you know, I got my ACC champ being Clemson. No competition. For Virginia Tech, I don't even think it's going to be close. I'll take like a 52-7 win in the ACC championship game. So, all right, Nelson, what you got, man?
Of course, you know there's a landslide with Atlantic winner. It's going to be Clemson. Just their mentality is, you know, if you want to beat us, come get it. You know, come and get this beat down. You know, Trevor Lawrence, he's looking like, you know, a fifth-year senior that, you know, is making the right reads and making, you know, his teammates better. I think he's going to be the Heisman Trophy winner when it's all said and done.
Over your boy from Ohio State? Over Justin Fields?
Yes.
Wow. We might have to have a discussion about that.
Yes, I think so. And I'll tell you why, because it's proven. He had 2 good years right now, Trevor Lawrence, and it's proven that he can lead the team in big games and he can win at a high cost. So I think he's going to be that face for the quarterbacks going into the draft his senior year. So I think he's going to be that guy. Sunshine, you know, if you remember the movie.
Remember
the Titans? Yeah, he's sunshine. He's shining. He's shining bright. And then that man in that backfield, Travis I can't even say his name. 18. Man, you talking about lightning in the bottle and strong. When he gets the ball, he's explosive, man. And I'm telling you, that's all you need on the offensive side. And then, of course, you know, Dabo Swinney is going to have that defense, and that defensive coordinator is going to have that defense just, you know, going crazy. All the stunts and the blitzes and all that good stuff. Clemson defense has been, solid. They remind me of the Seattle Seahawks defense. You just can't stop them. They're just too complicated, too sophisticated, and they're going to bring the bombs and they're going to bring the hammers when it comes to defense. Like you said, Dante and Don, there's nobody in Atlantic, pretty much facing them. The biggest threat, maybe is Florida State, on a good
If
year,
they
but
get their crap together, I mean,
yeah,
Louisville maybe. I mean, they went 8-5
yeah,
last year, and they're 5-3 in the division. They were there only, but like I
right,
really don't see NC State being good. I think
No.
Syracuse a couple years ago had a great season because they had that win against Clemson, and they were just hot
right.
fire. But Florida State is the only team, if they can get their crap together, that can really knock on the door and be like, all right, Clemson, you you know we're the closest thing to an SEC team as far as recruiting goes too, as well.
Yeah, maybe Virginia, but I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So who
and
you got going in the Coastal?
you know what? I'm bringing out my hand sanitizer because I know I'm gonna get a lot of dirt thrown my way when I say this. So let me wipe my hands now. Let me wipe my hands now. But I got Georgia Tech. Now, this is why I say Georgia Tech. Reason being is
You
because
think they're gonna make that big of a jump?
yeah, you know
Wow.
why? You know why? Because in college football, there's always a Cinderella team. There's always a team that comes out of nowhere. You're like, well, why is this team winning? George Collins has those boys believing last year because they went from the wishbone offense to a new offense, and that could just when you're a college kid, that could just have some bright and hope in your mind and transfix your mind. Like, okay, we can win it. Now, I'm glad you brought up those games, Dante, because last year, like you said, NC State close loss, 26-28. Virginia, great team last year, 28-33. Miami, 28-21. Pittsburgh, which was tough last year, 20-10, right? And then Citadel. I don't know how you lose to Citadel, but they lost to Citadel. Don't sleep on Citadel. 27-24. And then South Florida, which is always an okay team, but any team in Florida is good. 10-14. So if you add those L's to W's, that's 6 more wins they're going to get this year than last year. And so if you add 6 to that, they're either going to go 9-2 or 8-3. And I think they're going to make a jump. I think they're going to make a jump.
They got some tough games this year, man. They got Clemson, they got
Yeah.
Notre Dame, they got Georgia.
Right, right. So I think the only teams that I think they're going to lose to is Clemson and Notre Dame. Now UFC is going to be tough, so I think they're going to lose it. They're going to lose to them. But other than that, I think they're going to have a close game against Syracuse. I think they're going to smash Duke. Virginia, I think it's going to be like an overtime game. Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be a tough battle.
That'll be tough.
I think Miami's going to give them a run for money, and of course they're going to lose to Georgia. They're going to lose to Georgia,
Yeah.
flat out. But I think this is a Cinderella team. This is the team that everybody's going to say, "Wow, what happened?" They're going to go from worst to first. Well, we're in their coastal division. So, but I got Clemson winning the whole thing though, because Clemson, hands down, is the new Alabama. So I think Clemson's going to just, take it all away. Now LSU is not going to be the same as last year. When it comes to the championship, they're not going to be the same. Their whole squad is pretty much went to the NFL. So
Yeah, I think 14 different players, I think.
yeah. So, but I think Clemson's going to run the show. They're gonna either face Alabama or somebody like that, or even possibly Oklahoma in the BCS championship game. But yeah, I got Clemson just taking it.
All right. Well, I think across the board, I mean, it's hard to argue that Clemson is going to be the best team. And I think me and Don can totally agree that we see Georgia Tech being good in the future.
Yep.
But that's a bold prediction. I mean,
It
because
is.
I could see them winning a lot of close games next year. I mean, because their division pretty much sucks. I mean,
Right.
Miami really hasn't proven. They're kind of like the Cleveland Browns. They had all the talent last year, but really couldn't live up to it. But yeah, I think the Coastal is I think any of these teams really, if you really think about it, can win this division. It just
Yeah.
depends on how much of the loss from graduations and the draft that impacted any of these teams. But the most complete one is North Carolina, like Don said.
Right. And
Yep.
Dante, this has been like a upside down year, man. So this is form fitting for Georgia Tech to come out of nowhere, man.
There you go, Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Good point.
For For sure. I think we collectively agreed that Florida State is the biggest threat to Clemson, and that Georgia Tech is talented, but North Carolina is the most complete team. I think all of us can agree that looking at the ACC, it's pretty straightforward as far as who the winners are going to be. Now, the rest of these divisions that we're going to be talking about, the rest of the conferences in college football that we're going to be talking about, is going to be pretty interesting. And we're only going to do the Power 5, so we're not going to go all into like the Sun Belt coast and all that, because you're not going to see those teams in the playoffs unless something like really drastic happens where like Appalachian State goes and they start just smashing everybody and they have to have a bid to get in. But Condoleezza Rice and them boys ain't gonna they ain't gonna be voting Appalachian State or Western Kentucky into the playoffs anytime soon. And if that happens, that's the day that we end the Go for Two podcast. Like totally, it's like, all right, I'm out, man. Like we can't be talking about this. This is ridiculous. But yeah, I always love talking about this stuff, guys. Like the division talks is always good to come and reconvene at the end of the season and see what our predictions were. So definitely love this segment of the podcast every time we have it. So next week, what are we gonna get into? So we're gonna switch it up.
Roll.
We're gonna be doing the AFC East and the AFC West. So that way we'll take care of those too. So what do we got in the East? We got them boys from Jacksonville. We got them boys from Indianapolis, the Texans, and the why am I drawing a blank? Jaguars, Texans, Titans, and the Colts from the AFC East. And then AFC West, who we got over there? We got the Broncos, the Chiefs, Raiders, and the Chargers. So two very interesting divisions that could either be the most sucky in the NFL or the best, because there's it's like that with the whole NFL. It's hard to predict, but just doing the eye test, the AFC, I don't see how the AFC West we don't have the same winner there, but you know, it's kind of hard to say who's not gonna win that division. We'll leave that up for interpretation, but hey man, always love doing this every single week that we have it. We'll probably do this again through Facebook Live like we have done until this whole COVID thing. We'll try to follow our state's laws and not laws, but regulations and recommendations so we can keep our families safe too, because we would hate for, you know, one of us to get it and then spread it throughout and then us be a problem as well. So, and then, you know, that goes along with the protesting and everything that's been going on too. Just want to keep everybody safe. If we can do this from home, we got the means to, of course. We'll keep doing this from home. But hopefully in the next, you know, week or so, you know, they give us the clear so we can all get back together and the mic qualities are real good and, you know, have this back going in the original format. So, plans for the future. I'm going to see what we can do about getting individual mics for everybody. Or not mics, cameras. Then that way we can do video and audio, upload it to Facebook, or whatever we're doing. I'm looking into that right now. So then that way, at least we have some visual stuff on, you know, how it's going to be done. I know there's going to be some editing and stuff that needs to go on there, but I think it would be cool to get our perspectives on video, since I'm so used to doing it now, and I think it's cool to see our facial expressions, and just like what we did with the Jalen Hurts pick, everybody got to see our reactions live for that. So,
hey Dante.
Yep.
Before we end it, I just want to make sure we give a shout out to one of our followers, Randy up in Oxford at the comic book store. He is back open after all this mess. He is open again.
Nice. So support small businesses. That's what we're saying, but especially Randy. Randy's been so generous to us, letting us use his shop for the podcast. I go there at Oxford, Pennsylvania as frequent as I can to buy comic books. I'm a big comic book head, as you guys can see from my room. And you know, I try to buy from him as my exclusive retailer for everything comic books. I met him through Don, and him and his wife have been super generous. So if you guys can get out there and support his shop, most importantly, support the town of Oxford, because all those small businesses have been pretty awesome to us. I shop at the
Yeah.
candy store. I go down to
Toot Sweet, the candy store,
I go down
Sawmill
to
Grill,
the Sawmill Grill has great food. Going down
the
to our
coffee
guys at the
shop.
coffee shop that have hosted
Yeah.
us. So shout out to them. Welcoming us back to to do another one sometime in the future. So hopefully we can all get back on our feet. Everybody's struggling at some point in their life right now, regardless, rich, poor, in health, with bad health. Everybody's going through some type of struggle, but this is the type of stuff that that we can do to kind of bring people together. Let's not talk about everything that's bad. Let's get back to football. Let's get back to normal life, and let's get back to helping each other, on a daily basis. So, with that being said, this is the Go for Two podcast. Don, the stats guru, Nelson, the running back, and everybody's favorite couch quarterback, Dante. We're signing out, and it's never a gimme. I'll let Nelson say it.
Always go for two.
That's right.
That's it.
We'll see you guys later.